Aaron.
Yeah.
Why didn't you say it the first time I said Aaron?
Because it's pronounced Aaron.
You done messed up, Aaron.
Aaron is here. Welcome back, everybody, for more SPTV, where every day is a great day not to be in a cult. Who done messed up this time? I dare say it wasn't me this time. Guys, we're here to talk about the lawsuit between Grant Cardone and John Legere. I have covered this lawsuit many times on my channel. Some might even say I am to blame for the lawsuit. Reasonable people can differ on that. But it looks like the lawsuit has been settled. This was a $100 million defamation lawsuit that Grant Cardone filed against former T-Mobile CEO John Legere for statements that John made about Grant to Grant's face in front of an audience. This was on the Clubhouse app back when that was a big deal. Those statements were republished by myself and a number of others, but if I'm being honest, primarily myself. And yeah, John Legere had to publicly apologize. And I am not going to criticize him for having settled this lawsuit and issuing a public apology, because the truth is, I just have absolutely no idea what has been going on behind the scenes. It's my personal opinion, just that everything John said about Grant Cardone was couched in terms that made it clear it was his personal opinion. John Legere was saying things about Grant Cardone publicly that hundreds, if not thousands of people had already said prior to that, and hundreds, if not thousands of people have said on the internet after that. I don't claim to understand all the forces at play behind the scenes that led to this moment. But I saw this apology issued on John Legere's Twitter account very publicly. I was also a little, I didn't know what to make of the fact that Grant Cardone was literally in the comments section of John's tweet, trolling John. I thought, if this was an actual settlement and John made a very gentlemanly and sincere apology, you think Grant Cardone would let it lie. But no. And honestly, Grant being such a dick to John about it, John's a man I very much respect, is one of the reasons. I'm going to play for you again the statements that led to all this. They're in the public domain, and it's totally fair play for me to do this. We're going to take this step by step here, guys. So first, this is John Legere. This is John Legere's Twitter account. You can find him there. He's a very interesting and fun and inspirational guy to follow on social media. He is the guy that led the turnaround of T-Mobile. And there's another thing here. I am going to show you his apology. We're going to get to that. And I'm going to show you the statements that he's having to apologize for. But in preparing for this, I found an article that I had not seen before from just about, over 4 months ago. That for the first time, I'd never seen this information put out there publicly, that John was offering to settle the lawsuit with a public apology, and Grant had rejected that. So let's see what The Guardian reported here. Grant Cardone, former T-Mobile CEO, to be deposed in $100 million defamation lawsuit from Trump ally. Grant Cardone rejects offer to settle with an apology from John Legere after claiming Legere denigrated him in 2023. The former T-Mobile CEO John Legere is expected to be deposed in a $100 million defamation suit brought by Grant Cardone after Grant rejected an offer to settle with an apology from the ex-telecom chief, according to two people knowledgeable with the situation. No reason to read this whole article. It just points out that John actually, having reached the deposition stage of the lawsuit, that the stakes were getting a little bit higher here. I would argue everybody understood and expected and was looking forward to the depositions. I myself was supposed to be deposed in this lawsuit. That deposition was scheduled. It was then postponed, and then it was never rescheduled. So I sort of had an idea that something was going on behind the scenes, but you never really know. Okay, so before we get to John's actual apology, let's revisit the glorious 6 minutes of absolute shellacking that Grant Cardone suffered publicly at the hands of John Legere. I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, the 2023 Clubhouse chat of Grant Cardone and John Legere.
John,
Hey, Grant,
you
you are the biggest bullshit artist on the planet. Okay,
John,
so
at
I'll
least-
finish
go
my
ahead.
statement. So Grant Cardone, who talks about being a recovering addict, and if you look at his posts, they are constantly him holding wine and whiskey and everything else. So Grant, are you a recovering addict or are you just a drunk?
I had a drug problem. I never had a drinking problem.
Hey Grant, how much of the world sees a bifurcation between a drug issue and an alcohol issue?
What do you know about addiction?
I know quite a bit.
Now, guys, this is interesting. You guys out there with maybe a bit more of a history in the drug and alcohol space, do you see it as John is saying, how many people actually differentiate between an alcohol problem and a drug problem? Now, I feel like I very much differentiate between those two things, but it does seem like John has a lot more experience in the addiction and recovery space. I mean, I have no experience in it. For you guys out there, let me know in the live chat, let me know in the comment section. Do you find it problematic if someone whose backstory, their origin story is they're a recovering drug addict, but they're always publicly drinking? Or do you think that's just no big deal? Because I tend to think it's no big deal, but I'm not, it's just my opinion.
I've never had a problem with alcohol.
You talk about my life and my recovery and the whole deal, but you're out drinking.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with
Well,
wine,
I think
John.
the world might have a problem with your story, Grant.
Why are you trying to diminish everybody in the room?
No, just you, Grant, because you're a fucking con man. I'll say this on this room right now. I believe that in the next year, Grant Cardone will be found guilty of fraud. I believe that Grant Cardone will be found guilty of fraud, and I want nothing to do with it.
John, do you know of anybody that I have been fraudulent to?
I think you're a fake, somebody that says I used to be an addict, and I think you're fake. That's
okay. Good. I'm gonna finish playing it, but I want to say, from my heart and genuinely and sincerely, Grant Cardone, I believe you are an absolute fraud and a con man. Not the least of the reasons is that you are one of the biggest recruiters and financial supporters of the multi-billion-dollar international family-destroying human trafficking cult known as Scientology. Scientology is a fraud. It is a scam. You are a fraud. You are a scam. And it's amazing to me how many people don't know that you are a Scientologist, that you are the highest level Scientologist that there is. You're a Tom Cruise level Scientologist, OT8, all 3 L's, superpower, cause resurgence, all that shit. It's amazing to me how many people don't actually know that Grant Cardone's activities serve to finance and prop up and recruit for the Church of Scientology. That's one of the many reasons you're a con man and a fraud. Just wanted to say that for the record.
My opinion.
Well, thank you. But you've never done business with me. You've never given
and
me
I wouldn't
anything.
do
We've never
business
done
with you,
anything.
Grant. You've been begging me to do business with you for 5 years, and I won't.
I don't think I've ever offered you any money to do anything or any partnership.
By the way, he's not a billionaire. He doesn't have close to $1 billion. And he is somebody.
How do you know?
Somebody here. He's somebody who is self-promoting. And if you go to the world, go to the world of CNBC, go to CNN, go to the world, ask about Grant Cardone. He doesn't exist.
How do you know what I'm worth, John?
How do I know what you're spending under the radar to live your lifestyle?
How do you know where my money comes from? You don't know anything about me financially? Just admit that, John.
So how much you paying to the church, Grant?
John, John, what does that matter?
How much you paying to the church?
John, what do you know about me financially? You just said you just made a bunch of claims about
I don't know. What I know, Grant, is that you say all the time you're a billionaire, that you have $4 billion. So, in real estate, do you? Are you a billionaire?
John, what do you know about my finance?
Here's your chance, Grant. Are you a billionaire?
I don't need a chance with you.
Spoiler alert. Grant Cardone never takes the opportunity to say, yes, I am a billionaire.
You're the one
Are you a billionaire? Tell the group. Hey, Grant, your profile says you're a billionaire. Are you a billionaire?
John, I'm not going to even answer your questions right now.
Are you? Are you close?
Until you answer some of mine, I'm not going to answer yours, okay?
Let the group know that a very simple statement is Grant Cardone a billionaire, yes or no? He won't answer.
Well, it'd be hard for me to state that. I don't know how I could state that publicly and it not be true without having banks come back and say, bro, what are you doing?
So you know what the answer is, Grant? You're not.
John,
assets versus debt.
Just
with
for
a
the
market
room,
at 7% mortgage rates. How you doing?
John, I'm doing great. How do you know?
You say all the time you're a billionaire. You say it all the time, but you're not, and you won't say it.
How do you know that, John?
John himself is worth, to my understanding, several $100 million. So it's not like he just has no idea what he's talking about, just for the record.
It's good. Yes or no? Grant Cardone, are you a billionaire?
John, how do you know?
There you go. Come on, that says it all it needs, Grant.
Okay, let me ask
You're
you
a
this question,
big
John.
talker. You're a big talker. So let everybody know the answer was not yes.
John, did you say in this room that I am fraudulently using funds?
Oh, here you go.
From accredited
and
non-accredited
blah,
investors?
blah, blah. Here we go, Grant. How stupid do you think I am?
I think you said that, John. Did you
Said
mean
what,
that?
Grant? What did I say, Grant? Do you want to ask your lawyer to ask the question more specifically?
I'm asking
Just have
you,
him write it down. Have him write it down and send it to me.
Do you believe that I have been fraudulent with my investors?
You know what, Grant? I believe you're a con man. No, you don't believe that.
You don't believe that.
I believe you are a con man of the highest order.
Yes.
And you understand my business depends on my reputation and on presenting to the public.
See, there's the low-key legal threat right there.
Okay, this is con man number 101. Try to find a little legal issue. Grant, I believe you're a con man. That's my personal belief. Hey, Grant, are you going to say?
You see, guys, no matter whether before this point in the conversation, John had, one could argue, made some of those statements as declarative fact instead of opinion, the fact is, he just made it clear it's his opinion, you know?
Are you going to sick the church? Are you going to sick the church on me now? Because I know the church has a big issue with people that are anti, big players like you. Hey, and are you not the biggest contributor to the church, or no? Is the Top Gun guy still ahead of you?
Why do you attack people's religion, man? I don't understand.
It's not religion. It's part of your. It's the whole spiel. I do understand that the church will attack those that attack you. Is this part of that?
John, man, bro, you got to get some help, pal. I'm surprised that you would tell hundreds of people in a public room that I steal investors' money.
He never said Cardone steals investors' money. He never said it. You guys are listening to it. He never said it.
When in fact, we delivered $22 million in cash this year and almost $400 million over the last 4 years.
And my opinion is you're a fraud.
Yeah. And what about the fraud? What about the I stole money from investors?
My opinion is, Grant, is you're a fucking fraud. Go ahead. Tell the church to come get me, Grant. And Grant, how do you think that's going to play in your big opinion about yourself and what people think about you if you're going to go and have this conversation? He said I'm a fraud. So if you're that tenuous, you're a fraud, Grant.
Okay, thank you, man.
Can't wait to see you leave now. Go ahead. Take your tail between your legs and head out the door.
That's the best. It is absolutely the best. I'm not sure I've ever heard anyone else take Grant to task publicly like that. Grant did, of course, kind of do exactly what John told him would be a really bad look for him to do. And he filed the lawsuit. And then after he filed the lawsuit, he basically went on a parade of going on pretty much every podcast that he could and saying that this lawsuit was being done as basically a message to send a shot across the bow to all the haters and the clickbaiters. Oh, where's my Grant Cardone hat? Oh, it's all the way over there. That basically Grant being like, how dare all you people on the internet call me a fraud and a liar and a fake billionaire? Well, Grant, I'm still waiting for your lawsuit, buddy. Now I'm sure you're like, I won't give that guy the time of day. Yeah. Well, I'm just here to let you know your message, your lesson to all of the people on YouTube. How dare they consider calling you a fraud, a liar, a con man, a charlatan, having some questionable practices with your children. Message not received, buddy. Message not received. So let's see. Here is the apology from John Legere. It says, to whom it may concern, I've thought about the statements I made about Grant Cardone in June 2023. And on reflection, I regret making them. I apologize to Mr. Cardone, his wife, Elena Cardone, both his children, Sabrina Cardone and Scarlett Cardone, Mr. Cardone's fans and followers, partners, investors, and to any person who may have been influenced by my statements. I ask that those who elected to redistribute and use the comments I made about Mr. Cardone as clickbait or headlines take those recordings down. Mr. Cardone's life story is admirable, and I respect his hard work to provide services to his customers and opportunities to Main Street investors. I look forward to watching Grant's continued progress in business and investing. Sincerely, John Legere. I understand and appreciate that as a part of whatever agreement John made with Grant, he had to at least publicly state that he would ask other people to take down the videos that carried John's statements. Obviously, I am not going to do that, but I appreciate that he had to agree to at least publicly ask. Grant Cardone is a liar. He is a fraud. He is a con man. For many reasons, not the least of which is his involvement in Scientology, his recruitment for Scientology. Grant Cardone is probably, to the extent that any successful recruitment for Scientology is occurring in the world, Grant Cardone, if anyone is effectively recruiting for Scientology, it's going to be Grant Cardone. I've actually been in touch with people who have gotten into Scientology because of Grant Cardone and have since left. And pretty soon, I hope to have the opportunity to give them a platform here to tell their stories. So, yeah, I'm not taking my videos down. And I'm probably going to do another 100 videos about Grant Cardone over the next many years because there's a lot to discuss. You know, some people do videos about Grant Cardone because they're in the real estate space and it's what they talk about as a matter of expertise. That's not why I do videos about Grant. I do videos about Grant because he is one of the leading recruiters and primary financial supporters of the family-destroying human trafficking cult that is Scientology. And that is why I will always talk about Grant, no matter who he's suing or not suing. And it's also why he will never sue me, because he can't stand up to the discovery. Scientology won't let him do something like that that would instantly raise my profile on YouTube and make me relevant in the Grant Cardone, news headlines world. There's no way Scientology wouldn't even let Grant Cardone sue me. Grant has been making a lot of noise about wanting to run as governor of California. You guys have my word. If Grant Cardone runs for governor of California, I will move to Los Angeles. I will join the press pool and I will follow Grant Cardone around wherever he goes because it will bring me happiness and joy. And I will consider it a public service. All right, guys, that is it for now. I have several more videos I hope to do this evening, but I say that pretty much every day and I never get to them. But, guys, the comments and the live chat is full of people saying they're not getting notifications for any of my videos. It doesn't actually surprise me. Just check your notification settings, do what you can. It's just one of those YouTube things. Let me see a few questions that I starred as I was paying attention to the live chat. Tommy Tone Toontown, if Grant Cardone is a recovering addict, how did he qualify for the OT levels? I guess this Scientology really does qualify. I guess Scientology really does qualify a person for the OT levels, depending on how much you donate to the IAS. Being a former addict does not disqualify you from any Scientology, actually. As long as you are recovered, as long as you don't have an active drug and alcohol problem, Scientology's got no problem with your drug and alcohol history. The only history they do have a problem with is any history taking any psychiatric medication, any antidepressants, any SSRIs, and any history of having been in the care of a psychologist or a psychiatrist. That's almost always a deal breaker for getting onto the OT levels this lifetime. Next lifetime, you got a shot. Literally Lisa from H-Town. Legitimate question. On this phone call, is Grant drunk or does he have a speech impediment? He sounds different than other videos. One of the things that made the height of Clubhouse popularity so entertaining is that Grant Cardone had a habit of getting onto Clubhouse while very drunk and doing live chats. It was absolutely amazing. Grant did not strike me as drunk in this recording. He doesn't have a speech impediment. If you detected one and you thought he was a little tipsy there, it's possible. I didn't happen to notice that in that recording. CO Bilf, Grant Cardone is a billionaire, but assets will not be liquid until he resolves partial whole track occlusion and recovers ancient treasures. In the comment section of my videos about Grant, there was a comment from someone recently who says they were an analyst at a firm that was analyzing a bunch of real estate investing companies. And according to their analysis, Grant Cardone was actually a billionaire. And I haven't seen the analysis, and I just disagree, but that's okay. I think one of the things that Grant does in order to call himself a billionaire is he just vastly inflates. He just puts a giant multiple on the value of his privately held companies that, in my opinion, would be practically worthless if he wasn't personally running them. So has Grant Cardone ever raised any capital whatsoever at any valuation of his companies whatsoever? Not to the best of my knowledge, but if anyone has information about that I don't have, please feel free to email me at growingupinscientology@gmail.com. And do the cash, put his real estate business to the side. In my opinion, the cash flows of all of Grant Cardone's other businesses are purely dependent on the mythical figurehead of Grant Cardone continuing to be the face of the company and continuing on with his marketing machine. You take Grant Cardone, the fake billionaire myth, out of it, and those cash flows evaporate. So I don't know how you really apply any multiple to his revenue or his profit, but that's just me. What do I know, guys? I grew up in a cult. All right, guys, that's it for now. Stay tuned. Much more to come. Thank you for hanging out with me, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.